Hi everyone, welcome to Coach MirandaMiner's crypto news, fundamentals, technical charting, trader quotient in 45 minutes. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to click on subscribe and please like this video so you're actually updated for all of my free videos that is going to be given to you to further expand your knowledge and learning. Okay, and also if you're also new to this channel, please don't forget to follow me as well in my Twitter page, in my Facebook channel, in our Facebook groups as well, in our Discord community. There's a lot more for you to join. And by the way, happy 17,600. I know that we could still hit 20,000 before end of this month. So please help me share our channel to many more of your friends so we could actually try to further, hit that 20,000 mark very, very soon. And again, welcome to our channel and welcome to everyone. Our topic today is about Bitcoin bottomed, crypto is going to. We'll see, no? We will see what's going to be the new price point after this particular uh, bottom, no? And then before we further move on today, I would just like to greet all of my students on the UAE class earlier. I'd like to greet the team Burj Khalifa, led by Nico, Team for Good. Rad actually just joined that team as well. Team One Pataas, care of Jen, and then Team Joms for Team Bull under Joms. No, so very very good and lively class earlier. It's a combined beginner and intermediate, and I hope that you have all learned earlier. And I'm really happy, when I ask you the question. At least do you know now? Do you have some little bit of confidence, no? And I've obviously heard yes. So again, I'm really excited for you guys, and I look forward to seeing you again next Friday. And again, shout out to all of my students there in UAE. No, sorry. We also have some students, from the Australia area. So greetings there from some of our students there, who has actually joined our team UAE, and so on and so forth. And congratulations to Team Burj Khalifa who won the Battle of the Teams earlier. Anyways, guys, so this looks very familiar, I'm sure. Let me just bring up again this very, very familiar Wyckoff events and analysis, right? So I've been actually presenting this to you a couple of weeks already when we were still on this area, and I said that we could potentially see a new bottom, and in this case, we saw that 28,000 dollar USDT support, no, and it was actually trying to test. It won the testing of the previous 30,000 support, no, and based on the Wyckoff model, it's actually telling us that after it bottomed at the $28,000 mark for Bitcoin, it could actually try to recover, but you need to expect that this could potentially go down again. It could actually test the previous support, no? What is this previous support? This was the previous support of around 30,000. So the trend could still go down, but I'm expecting that it would actually try to test but eventually bounce, on the previous uh, you know, uh, support, and then from there it could potentially go higher again, and then bounce on the previous support, and then further go high, and so on and so forth. I think we're still on the spring phase, of the Wyckoff event. And if you would notice, if you could just continue just to memorize this line, okay, memorize this graph, and eventually, I'd like you guys to look at this formation. Okay, so you're noticing that um, there is somehow a look-alike of this particular formation. No? There's a look-alike, and I'd like to believe that we're going to see. Obviously, as what I was saying earlier, let me just further maximize this. There you go. So this was actually the spring phase. This particular area is the spring phase. And let me just do a marker there. This is the spring phase area. And going back here, this is what you call the spring phase area, but this can be even go longer. I think this could go longer, more than this one. So I think this one could probably even go at this level, right? We're talking about, a few more days or maybe 1 or 2 more weeks of consolidation and testing. And this can potentially test this previous support, no? So this can potentially bounce on this area here, okay? This can potentially bounce this area here, okay? And then further go upwards here, okay? And then it can further go down again, and then try to go up more based on this traction, okay? So we're seeing that there is some level of consistency and alignment to the Wyckoff model, but another thing that, as I've said, no, the volume again does not make any good comparison with this volume, right? So what does that mean is, and in fact, when I was reading the news earlier, I'd like you to see this. No, I'd like you to see. Just give me a second. Here. So there was a headline earlier. It says Bitcoin dropped below $30,000, sparks fears for another crypto winter. But here's why bulls aren't worried. No, here's why bulls aren't worried. It says here that Bitcoin dropped below the symbolic price threshold of $30,000 on Tuesday. It has reignited the talk about crypto winter, but it says there that we are far from the bear market. They said only traders are freaking out over technical seen on exchanges like volumes and price action, said on-chain analyst statistician Willy Woo. But Bitcoin adoption is much broader than it was in 2018. In fact, it's creating a self-reinforcing belief in the currency value, says the bulls. No? So it's creating a self-reinforcing belief in the currency value. So yes, it's actually it did drop below the 30,000 level, but the bulls are actually not necessarily convinced, and I'm actually one of them. I'm actually one of them that's not necessarily convinced, just because again, the volume does not make any sense, right? There's indeed a drop at $28,000, but the volume doesn't support that. For me to confirm that, I mean, the question mark is this drop? Is this the institutional buyers? Is this are these the whales? No, because if these are the whales, then probably the volume would have been like this, right? So I think it's just trying to test the 30,000 level, and I think this current traction on our coin can potentially go back to around $30,000. It can potentially test the $30,000 mark, and from there it could potentially go further higher by bouncing. No, so earlier, and I was reminding some of you guys to wait for the trend, and indeed there was actually a trend breakout on this particular area. There's a trend breakout, and sorry, let me just get this one. There's a trend breakout in this particular area. That's why you've seen the coin go drop further, and then let me just see one more. There you go. There you go. So there was actually from a price action perspective, there's actually a little bit of a bounce in this area. That's why when it actually crossed and pierced the resistance on this area, it further went down. But this support was strong enough to recover, and then further it actually formed a higher low candle formation. But when it actually crossed and broke down the support, and then it further went down, and this is how it looks like right now. Um, Again, I think I'm forecasting that this can potentially try to test. It can go back to the $30,000 mark. And then from there, it will bounce, and it could probably even go upwards. The only reason why this could go further, create a lower low candle or even lower than 28,000, the only reason that would happen is when we see a major news, a major news. There are a couple of news that has happened earlier. So let me just go on with the news today. Um, there's a little bit of a mixed bag here, right? So there's a lot of news now that's talking about, we're now seeing the value of um, there's now a capital inflow into Bitcoin based on the SSR oscillator, meaning this particular SSR oscillator is actually trying to compare the relationship between the stablecoin inflow versus the Bitcoin. And I think I remember I've shown this to you guys, wherein what I was saying was there was a reverse relationship between the coin and the supply of US dollar Tether. So let me just go ahead with this now. So it says here that the stablecoin supply ratio oscillator, created by Willy Woo and tackled by blockchain analysts from Glassnode, has risen from 12-month low into a negative 2.6 in the past 4 weeks. No, from negative of 2.96 to negative 1.9. The recovery indicates capital has been flowing from stablecoins into Bitcoin. What does that mean? Is that people that are hodling their money into stable coins, or just avoiding volatility and parking their money in stable coins, are now using that to buy more bitcoins. Okay, in other words, bargain hunters have now who have actually looked to the value of stable coins as a safe haven are now buying the dip. No, they're now buying the dip. So people who are parking, like what I did, guys. If you recall, I've shown to you my Excel, and I've shown to you that I used to have 63% of my funds are still in the USDT. No, and most recently, I've shown to you I actually bought a few coins, to be able to leverage the buy to the dip. No, and eventually we have already earned on that, and that's exactly what this article is saying, that the bargain hunters now have actually used the stable coins to buy the dip, right? And that's what's actually happening now in terms of the SSR oscillator, which means from a supply ratio, we're now seeing a correlation of the supply, meaning the more supply that I mean, the higher the stable coins utilizations are, the higher the Bitcoin utilization inflow is. No, unlike before when it was reversed. What's happening was the delta between the use of stable coins versus Tether. People are now using less. I mean, if you see that the stable coins are getting lower in terms of utilization, so it could also mean that the inflow of Bitcoin is also going lower because people are not using their stable coins to buy Bitcoin, right? So hindi sila gumagamit ng pera nila, tinetenga lang nila, pinapark lang nila, no? So, ganun. It says here that sorry about that. So yeah, so now you're seeing that there's now low supply of your stable coin, and then which means that people are now using the stable coin to buy Bitcoin. Unlike during this time, you have a huge supply of stable coins. They're not that are just parked, right? And now it's actually gone lower, which means that the same the same guys. Let me just expand this, no. So the same trend way back October, and if you remember, way back October, that was the start of the bull run. That was the start of the bull run last year. So every time that there is a an achievement of stable coin to go at this level, compared to, which is the same as October, same as April, and same as October of 2019, that is the start of a potential big bull run. No, there's a bull run that's about to happen when you have already bottomed, right? And then you are now seeing that the stablecoin supply oscillator is already going upwards, no? And it's actually now going to further see the bull, right? So based on the US dollar Tether supply ratio, there's more people now who are using their stable coins to purchase your Bitcoin on a bargain price, and that can potentially start, like what this chart is saying, this can potentially start another bull for Bitcoin. Okay, so let's continue to move on. There's also another news about Dorsey. You guys know, I'm sure you guys know Dorsey. Jack Dorsey was the big wig or the executive in Twitter and the Square, and it looks like there is going to be a debate, no, between Elon Musk and Jack Dorsey. So who do you guys think will win? Type number one if you think it's gonna be Elon, or number two, will Elon be, you know, um, trumped over by Jack Dorsey? And the topic is going to be, there's a potential forthcoming debate about Bitcoin. In the Twitter exchange Friday, the Twitter founder Dorsey suggested having the talk. The talk, to which Tesla Elon Musk replied, "For the bit curious? Very well, then let's do it," followed by a wink emoji. No? So Dorsey had initially tweeted about the Bitcoin World, an event he is set to host on July 21 alongside Kathy Wood. Kathy Wood is, obviously, you guys know her. I've been mentioning her in my live. She's the founder of ARK Investment Management. She is a multi-millionaire, not yet a billionaire, but obviously Investment Management is a big, big, big investment firm. Okay? So this is actually the conversation. It looks like the big honchos of Twitter, Square, and Tesla are up for a Bitcoin debate. We'll see. We'll see, no? Obviously, both of them, those two tech entrepreneurs, are among the most famous proponents of the cryptocurrency. However, Elon Musk's Bitcoin appetite has cooled since May, when he announced Tesla was reversing its decision to take payments in the crypto space, citing environmental concerns about the energy use required in mining. So we'll see, guys. It's very, very interesting. I'm not necessarily drooling over this particular debate, but we'll see. We'll see what we'll see. All right. Another news: Colombia Capital unveils 2.8 billion blockchain investment plan. You guys know, before this particular news, did you guys see the news that El Salvador is actually giving 1,500 peso worth of Bitcoin for all of their citizens? Wow. So the president has actually confirmed that they're going to give around $30 worth of Bitcoin per citizen, and I think that would potentially further drive adoption of the coin, no, of the coin. So we'll further look into that news. But going back to Colombia's capital, this is another big improvement from an adoption perspective. Colombia's capital unveils $2.8 billion blockchain investment plan. So let's read into this. It says here that the investment plan between 10 million and 50 million will be made into 100 companies who will receive advice on implementing blockchain technology. You guys know that from a reputation perspective, Colombia isn't necessarily a first world country, but like El Salvador, as I've said, no, it starts with one country and then everything else follows, right? So Colombia's financial regulator launched a cryptocurrency sandbox earlier this year, allowing banks to explore business models associated with handling crypto assets. I think, guys, what this is actually suggesting to all of us is that there's another country who is now one step closer into a Bitcoin adoption, right? I think it all starts from here. And I think, based on my research, El Salvador did start on the same trend. No, they were actually looking to further refine the fine prints of implementing blockchain technology many years ago. No, the adoption of El Salvador for cryptocurrency didn't happen overnight. There were a lot of Bitcoin enthusiasts who went there in El Salvador and helped frame up the white paper, of how to adopt and how to implement Bitcoin, or BTC, or cryptocurrency, as a legal tender. A legal tender. And as I've said, there's a lot of government or regulators who are actually opposing this move. I.e., you have IMF, the International Monetary Fund. Obviously, they wanted to put still control in the currency discussions. And anytime you decentralized a particular currency of a country, then that it kind of spells you know a bad image to the for the IMF because they're gonna be losing their control, right? Okay, next news here. Bitcoin jumps 5% as El Salvador braces for crypto law. This is what I'm saying. $30 e-wallet airdrop. Right? They're gonna be giving a $30 e-wallet airdrop now. So Bitcoin rise coincides with announcements made by El Salvador president who spoke during a national address on Thursday evening. Bitcoin rose for a third straight day after El Salvador announced the date it would officiate the crypto as a legal tender and gift for everyone. Wow, grabe naman to, guys. Mangyari kaya sa Pilipinas to we're giving 1,500 pesos. Guys, if the Philippines will offer a $30 gift worth of $30 USDT in your Binance wallet, what is the first coin that you will buy? Can you type down in the comment box? What is the coin that you will buy if the government of the Philippines passes a law, no, that Bitcoin is going to be a legal tender? What's going to be the first coin that you will buy? And tell us why. Tell us why. Right? I'm curious to see what are you guys going to be saying. No. Yeah. So the world's most valuable crypto is currently at 5% on a 24-hour basis, and it's changing hands around 34,294. Most cryptocurrencies in the top 20 by market value. No, obviously, but however, it actually dropped already from the time of the writing. It already went down. No? But again, I think it's going to be a very, very good opportunity for El Salvador's citizens. No, so and you would imagine everyone in the El Salvador country is going to be given 1,500. You guys know what is the population of El Salvador? You guys know they have around 7 million, 7 to 8 million population as we speak today. I think the whole NCR area and the NCR plus area is equivalent to El Salvador. They're quite of a small country. They're a small country, but again, as I've said, it all starts with one country, right? Nagsisimula ito sa ganyan, no? Okay, so yeah, so the president told his country's citizens that they would be able to receive a gratuitous or gratuity of $30 in Bitcoin once they sign up for a Shivo e-wallet using facial recognition. Wow. Para meron na silang national ID, no? So you already registered and they will be giving you a $30 Bitcoin. This is really good, right? This is really good. So the president also said that his country's controversial Bitcoin law would come into effect on September 7. Guys, I want to give you some geopolitical background about Bukele or Bukel, no? Guys, he is like a Duterte there. He's his political influence is massive. Okay, his political influence is massive, and I know this. Without giving you too much background, I know this because I do have around 5 friends in El Salvador. No, local friends, local El Salvadorians there, and they live at the San Salvador area. And they were all telling me that the president there really holds massive political influence and really a lot of political support. So, it's like, and again, not to be very political in this show, it's like your Dutertes or someone who's really having that political control in the country, and he's like that, no. Yeah, so I think it's gonna be really a good news from a cryptocurrency perspective. The only bad news that I have today, and I'm sure you guys have probably heard about this, is the scam or the fraud that happened in Africa, right? For cryptocurrency, it's actually one of the headlines, and unfortunately, when that happened, um, I think $3.2 billion were absconded, were lost. No, I think it's still a fresh news today. We'll monitor that. Another bad news, obviously, is I'm not sure if you guys know the guy named McAfee, the founder of the McAfee antivirus, was found dead. I think 2 days ago or early this week. No, because of um, you know uh, alleged suicide. Right, he was actually found dead in Spanish prison after his extradition to the U.S. was approved. No, um, a lot of history about this guy. He was actually seen latter part of his life to be a supporter of the coin. Um, not really of a good news, but at the end of the day, I think there's also a lot of people who are natives of the coin already knew his involvement. No? Involvement. So the latter part of his, although it's not really that beautiful, no, hindi ganun kagandahan yung background niya from a cryptocurrency perspective, medyo maraming mga scandals and maraming issues. But at the end of the day, he's still close to the hearts of the cryptocurrency enthusiasts or the enthused folks, right? Yan. So as I've said, no, marami siyang mga scandals because he was arrested in Spain in October after being indicted in the US for tax evasion, etc., etc. Yun. So actually, he was promoting cryptocurrency as early as 2014, no, for promoting cryptocurrency, consulting work, and guys, I mean, what would you expect, no? During the early 2000, McAfee is very very big, no, a lot of viruses, but when people all shifted into better technology and all of those stuff, and I think Microsoft has actually evolved their OS, no, there's not much of a need for an antivirus anymore, right? And that's the reason why 2014, 2018, he started promoting cryptocurrencies and consulting work and speaking engagement, and he's already a very rich person, right? He's a very rich person, and you know, in 2012, he briefly vanished from his home in Belize because the local police tried to question him on the death of his neighbor. And he spent time in Guatemala and moved to Montreal, where he worked on his documentary. And I'm not sure if you guys have heard that he actually ran for U.S. president in 2016 as libertarian. He's not really obviously when you run for politics in the states, you have your Republican and Democrats. But if you're a libertarian, you're not necessarily heard in the mainstream media, right? So yeah, so unfortunately, very very sad news. But at the end of the day, at least he has contributed to the promotion of cryptocurrency, and may he rest in peace. All right, and then guys, before I forget, I actually created, as what I've said earlier, I did create a very very good landing page, which is actually a link tree. I've sent this landing page in our Facebook groups. So this is a very, very intuitive landing page because the first link is when you could actually click, and you could just need to click this and subscribe to my channel. It would bring you to my channel. If you wanted to enroll on my MirandaMiner Elite University, just click the link number 2, which is really, really good. And then if you wanted to learn about my process for cryptocurrency, you have your step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and step 5 here. And if you wanted to join our Facebook team, just click this link. If you wanted to, and this is the enrollment form, guys. And by the way, this is the most recent schedule, right? And then there's a lot of information. You just go with that enrollment form. And then you could actually join our Discord channel by clicking this one, the link here. The invitation doesn't expire. This does not expire. So just click on that, and you could always just go to our Discord channel or my MirandaMiner TikTok page. I already have 2,000 plus followers there. Really, really good. MirandaMiner Twitter handle, and I've just added earlier, there is a link now of where you could find the Miranda calculator, the personality test assessment, etc., etc., etc. So when you actually click on this MirandaMiner calculator, you will now be brought forward to the file section of our Facebook groups. Okay, everything is there already. The file section of our Facebook groups, where you could see the calculator, the personality assessment test, and the whole 9 yards. No, everything else. Like here, you could now see all of the files, the tools, etc., etc., etc. You could now all see them here. So this landing page is, of course, you also have your Shopee MirandaMiner Iron Man shirt if you wanted to order the Iron Man shirt of MirandaMiner. There's a black color and a purple one. Just order already, and you could take advantage of the 50 pesos discount code, which is actually also there. So it's a very, very intuitive tool, right? It's a very, very intuitive tool, and I hope that this could help you. Just bookmark this link, okay? Bookmark this link, and I hope you could actually take advantage of all of this free information in your fingertips. Libre yan, walang bayad lahat yan, guys. You guys could actually look at all of my videos. So, for example, you click on the Miranda University video or the playlist, you could actually, it would bring you to the actual playlist itself, no? Here, the entire playlist is here, no? And then, if you go to the beginners playlist, then it will all do the same. And for example, you wanted to know the Feast Halmachi scalping video step, just click on that step. It would bring you to the entire scalping video that I do have. A total of 2, 4. I think I have a couple there. I have yet to publish this. I have this video I have yet to publish, so just wait for this. This will come out as a private video in your view, but this is just gonna be sent out by tomorrow. Okay? So yun guys, I hope you've learned. I hope that this could be a useful information for you, for your utilization, over the next in your journey, right? In your journey towards learning more and becoming very, very profitable. By the way, for those that are waiting for my trades, I did not trade today. In fact, I've given instructions to my moderators not to. I don't know if they listen, but I said don't enter because this one will go down. Moderators type 1 if you agree. If you saw my comment, don't enter because this will further go down. And true enough, no, from $36,000, Bitcoin went down all the way to around around to 33,000. No? So coming from 36, right? So we're able to mention that earlier, and guys, I'm sorry if I don't necessarily broadcast that in the public. However, I think I remember in my Twitter handle. Let me just go to my Twitter handle, no. Okay, in my Twitter handle, I think I mentioned that, no. I did tweet earlier. I said to my tweet, do not enter and wait for XRP. This one, I think I said here, no. This one, I was saying that the next few hours will decide, and true enough, it went down. It went down. Obviously, it's actually on a triangle already, and I said, there's a very small room for XRP to decide within the next 5 hours. This was actually 12:54 kaninang tanghali, no? And I said around 5 p.m. because this can potentially go down, and it went down, or it could probably even go up. No, so it went down. So it was a breakdown, not a breakout. So congratulations if you did sell short this coin, but no, I did not trade for today, and probably look for a good trade tomorrow. I'd look for a good trade tomorrow, but we'll see. Not after for so many trades. And yeah, from a Bitcoin perspective, let's try to chart this one, guys. Let me just try to look for any potential entries here. Let me maximize this one. Okay, let's look for Bitcoin. Okay, let's look at the 1 hour mark. Let me remove the volume for now. Okay. It's going to have, let me just do some indicators here. MACD is still bullish. Still bearish. MACD is still bearish, and we're actually seeing there is a breakout earlier. There's a breakout here. and you're seeing a, there you go. I'm not necessarily excited with this trend. Um, there's already a weakening of the sell volume. Mihina na siya. Um, let me try to do. Okay, there were a couple of corrections that has happened here. Couple of corrections. Yeah. So, couple of correct. Teka lang, let me adjust it. Let me adjust this further. No, so MACD is not telling me anything. It's not a good entry yet. RSI is not telling me either. So just give me a second, guys. Okay, so it actually broke down already, going below 3.382. So the only saving grace here, is this one. Hang on. The only saving grace one is this one. So this can potentially bounce here. Bounce here. Bounce here. It can bounce here. On this area. So we'll see, no? We'll see. Let me see about that. Hang on a second. Doing live charting here. Let me just go to the 30 minutes time frame. I think there is already a potential. See this? There's a potential increase already. Ito nyo to, guys. There is a potential bounce, no, from this particular area. No, my students would know when to enter, guys. You know, prison candle, prison break candle, and confirmation candle. You know where to enter, no. So, I think looks like a spider web. But I think, as I've said, this can potentially bounce in this trend line. And true enough, it actually is trying to bounce already. So that's how interesting it is, right? Interesting. Ah, that's good, huh? Okay, you're seeing it bounce already, no? So that's good. Okay. So let's try to go to the 15 minutes mark. Oh, there you go. There you go. There you go. So I think it's already now trying. But I would not enter this yet, guys. I would not trade BTC. If I try to add MACD indicator and I try to add RSI, well, there's already a bullish confirmation, bullish cross on the 15-minute mark. True enough, talagang nag-bounce nga dito to, no? But RSI, let me go with RSI 30. Still not necessarily bullish. Just give me a second. Okay. So let me remove the RSI. Okay. Give me a second, guys. Let me just. Okay. Um. Yeah, I would wait. No, I would wait for this before I enter. I think if I look at the 1 hour, it's still on a, although the selling pressure is already weakening, right? But I would wait for this to further bounce. No, I would wait for this to bounce further, right? It looks like it looks like it's got a bounce, but we need some confirmation, right? We need some confirmation. Okay. Yeah. So we'll see, and then if we let's try to chart. I think we already charted XRP. The same thing for XRP. You're actually seeing some support line here. No, we're seeing some support line. That's why it actually already bounced. No, this is bouncing already. You will notice here, it already tried to bounce, right? And tried to test this particular support area, tried to retest this one. And then the next potential entry point is this one. Okay, so you're talking about a very, very small, um, teka lang actually I tried to use this one earlier. Yeah, but now let's just use the one at the bottom. Okay, that looks like, let me just give me a second, guys, okay? The state range from here. So you're talking about 11 more hours. 11 more hours. Either this trend can go higher or lower. It'll break down. I think this one will not break down if BTC will just bounce. Okay? If BTC will bounce, we're expecting this to break out here. But if the BTC will not bounce, it will actually, if BTC will, let me just go back there. If BTC will further go down, okay, if this BTC will further go down, then XRP can also go down, can also break this particular resistance. Okay, let's look for ADA or ADA. The same thing. Same thing. Right? Here, this can potentially bounce. No, if this one can actually go higher, or this one can go lower, if BTC breaks out here, like it broke out already. See, it already broke down, right? It already broke down. So I'm expecting XRP. To further go down. No, it could potentially break down. And then I'm expecting ADA to also try to test and break down here. No. So we'll see. We'll see later on, guys. We'll see. No, some of the Bitcoin dominance is still there. If this will potentially just bounce, but I don't necessarily see any signs of life yet in our MACD. It's still going lower. No, and as what I've said, no, as what I've said, based on the Wyckoff model, your Bitcoin can further test at $30,000. It could potentially test at $30,000 and bounce. Okay, so if you have some leverage there, if you have futures, and your liquidation line is around 31K, then you're potentially at risk. You gotta manage your margins. Okay, so just make sure that your liquidation lines are actually all below 30K, so you're still safe. You're still safe. Okay, you're still safe. So yeah, we'll see about that. We'll see about this particular trend, and I think that's all it for me today. Let me check if there's any other questions online. Okay. Let me check. Oh, these are the Discord boys, huh? Okay, hey guys, musician, Tina, Kunk Age, hey. Okay, Nida, thank you. Joy, thank you. The coin I hodl makes no mistake, okay? Ada, alright, let's see. Alright, no questions. Very good, ah. I hope you're all learning. Are you all learning today? Type 1 if you learned something new. Okay. Coach, posible bang magnakaw ang crypto wallet? Yes. Pwede. If you're sharing your seed, if you're sharing your seed phrases, then it could be stolen from you. Yes, possible yan. Ang pinaka hindi mananakaw is if you um, do a physical wallet. So obviously no one online can get it because it's physical. Yung nabibiling mga nano ledgers, may mga nabibiling wallets by the way. But again, it's still gonna be prone for risk if you don't take care of it physically, right? Um, what else? Let me read the questions. Okay, puro number one. Okay. For ETH, let's look at ETH. For ETH kasi, it's going down, no? It's, today is the, you need to remember, and I will type it. I will type, no? There is a major Ethereum options. Let me just type that down. Ethereum options. There is a max pain point liquid options today, no? June 25th. It all have expired today. Let me try to find that, guys. Ethereum options, June 25th. Let me try to open that for you. Today is the expiration. You know, there's an expiration of 1.5 billion options today. And because, let me try to open that. It is one of the largest options expiry. Let me check. Okay. Okay. This is for. Yun guys, ha. Okay, this is the, this is June 25th. Ang laki. Ooh. There's a total of 839,000 ETH on the call option. There is a total of 600,000 plus ETH on the put option. Ooh, wow. How much is it? Let me open this one. Okay, let me teach you guys how to read this. No? So, ang pinakamalaki is 3,200. Ooh, sakit. Ang daming na ano? Ang daming na nalusaw, nawalan ng... Guys, for options kasi, you need to remember, for options, the buyer of an options contract, so there's a similarity between options and futures, no? Both are actually contracts and both are looking at the future, no? So if you bought a future contract, you have a responsibility to buy and you have a responsibility to sell, no? In options, when you buy a put, you have two options. You could buy a put or a call, no? You have an option, when you buy an option contract, you have an option not to sell. Okay? If you don't sell your contract because the price that you bought the option, for example, the price of options today, let's say, is the price of the Ethereum, the price of Ethereum today is 1,828, no? You bought an option, no? And then on the options expiry, which is today, you were expecting that you could sell the option at $2,500. Okay, $2,500. Now, if the price of Ethereum did not hit $25,000, sorry, 2,500 on June 25th, then what happens is you lose your contract. Your contract has no value anymore. Okay? So when you look at this particular chart, when you look at this, you could interpret it in a way na kung sino yung may pinakamaraming buy and sell is represented by this number. No? So it looks like the majority of the put and call is actually on the 3,200. So yung mga nasa 1,840, okay, 1,840, then they would have gotten it, no? right? Because of the price today. But and everyone else gets decimated, meaning their current contracts lost all of its value. And that is the reason why, I think what's happening right now is that the price of Ethereum is actually nearing the 1840. Kano na bang price ng Ethereum ngayon? Ano, 1834. 1834. Because there's a lot of cryptos, uh, a lot of Ethereum that actually have expired, no? So what happens is when all of your Bitcoin, when your put and call, saan na yun? When your put and call um, options were not hit, then you lose your money. You have no money anymore. That is just a blank paper, right? So I think what's happening is because they lost their money, they get very emotional. They got in contracts, you call it they got liquidated, no, in futures. Pero technically kasi it's just a plain paper, no. You have no option. You're not required to sell it, no. If you bought now if you bought a sell contract, then you need to go now to you need to look for a price now, uh wherein you could actually buy it. So parang you're now taking your profit on that, in a very 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 simplest manner. That's how you interpret this, no. So in this case, the highest price was 3,200. So lahat ng bumiling yan, nawala na ng value yan, no. So the people who are on this range, they're the ones who earned their profits, and everyone else here in this spectrum, everyone to the right, everyone to the left, they got decimated. Okay? So yun, so I hope nakatulong. I think that's what's influencing the price of Ethereum right now. Significant yung drop eh. Significant, almost 18%. No? Diba? Almost 18%. I think one of the highest. Okay, let's now go if there's any other questions. Ano pong need na mangyari para ma-decouple yung galaw ng mga coins? I think this is far to happen, no? It's far to happen to decouple because in the earlier days of cryptocurrency, no, wala pa kasing mga stable coins. Everything else, all of the other altcoins were actually decoupled. They're actually coupled with BTC. The only time that it would only happen is when all of the bitcoins have been mined already, and I think you count many more years. No, when you see the Bitcoin dominance is already not dominant anymore. Um, I think that's going to be the time when the influence of Bitcoin would not be that much, right? So yeah, okay. Um let's read some comments. Tagal bumalik ni BTC sa 38K. We'll see. Um, Coach MirandaMiner, is it possible for Bitcoin to be 20K? Based on my reading, it's possible to be only at 26. I think 26, 27 it will go back, bounce again. Bounce from 26K, 27K. Yes, but only if there is a massive news. No, I don't think the news about the South Africa fraud is big enough. Um, it's just 3.2 billion, although it's big, no. But the cryptocurrency space is 1.32 trillion. So it's still necessary. It's not necessarily big at this time, but I think what it did to the community is actually created people who are doubters. No, it added to the doubters. No, because a lot of people lost their money. They said, right. So okay. Let's see. Okay, good. I agree. Look at BTC as another indicator. Uh, nagana po rin. Yes, gumagana rin si Parabolic sa scalping. Yes, gumagana rin yan, Honest Gaming. But just make sure that when you saw a setup, let's say you saw let's say you see a setup. Let's just try to do that. Right? Let's try to do that, no? Let's do a RSI 30. I don't think there is a parabolic today, though. Let's see if there's a parabolic. I don't think there is. Let's do a 14. No, let's do a 14. Um, let's do a 3 minutes. Yeah. So look at this. No, look at this one. So, ayan. Okay. So this is a parabolic scalping for Ethereum, for example, on a 3 minutes time frame. So guys, listen. This is a new. This is something that I don't think I made a video already, or I think I did, no. But for those that is not aware, you could do parabolic scalping. How do you do that, no? How do you do that? So whenever you see you use your RSI 14. You don't use RSI 30. Whenever you see an RSI 14 like this, and of course your candles are high Kinashi, no, when your RSI hit, sorry, you need to add a MACD just for extra confirmation. Okay, so here's what you need to do, no. Number one, is your MACD bullish? Yes. Okay. Is your RSI 3 minutes on a 14 RSI 14 length? Is it already at 70 or 72? Okay. So this 72 is actually this candle. This candle. Okay, this is the candle, no? All right. Now, you could actually exit at 75 candle, RSI 75, no? And RSI 75 candle, this one, is actually this candle, no? This particular candle. So when you scalp using your RSIs, when you scalp, let's try to read how much is this range. This is potentially a 1%, no? A 1% scalp, right? That is if you exited at 75, no? But you have an option to exit. You have an option to exit at 77 or 78, no? And then make sure that your MACD, okay, your MACD is still bullish, okay, and then you sell when it's actually bearish already. So let's assume that you actually is able to get the highest RSI because you're still able to see the green buying pressure here. So let's assume that you're able to get this high. So that is a 1.13% scalping, and then you sold at, okay, you see it here, right? You see it here, but let's say that you actually took advantage of this one. So up until here, around 1.17%, around 1%, no, 1%, and let's say you do a 5x leverage. So that's a 5% profit there. No, that's a 5% profit. But you need to be very, very, very careful because parabolics does not necessarily happen on a bear bear market below 0.618. It's very rare and they're very, very fast. They're a very fast parabolic play. So you need to make sure that you are able to maximize those parabolic plays. Right? Parabolic plays. Another example is this one. No? Another example. Let's say this one is already a bullish. This is a bullish cross. Right? It's a bullish cross, and then you see RSI 14 here is above 71. So let's try to get that. No? Let's try to get that. So this one is RSI 72. This candle, then up until here candle. So that is a 1.89%, almost 2%, almost 2%, and you sell here. Right, so that's probably very, very conservative 1.61%. So that is, let's say you do a 5x, Halmachi, or you do a 5x scalping, that is a 5% profit or an 8% already. 1.61 times 5, that's already 8%. Right, so that's how you do your parabolic scalping. Okay, so I hope you learned something today. What else? Who asked that question? Anyways, okay, guys. So I hope you learned something today. It's already 11 o'clock. I hope you learned something today. Tomorrow, during our Saturday night live, we will have a regular show. I think it's time for us to have some little bit of a break, no? But who knows? We'll probably have a surprise guest. I'll let you guys know. But tomorrow we'll have a regular show, and then please don't forget to click on subscribe and like our page, like our live session today, para you could actually learn some tips and sorry, uh, tricks and tactics, no, from an execution standpoint, like what I just taught today, no. Kompleto na to, guys. You have already your fundamentals, you have your news, you have your technicians, you have your technicals, and you have your traders quotient. Okay, so I hope that you learned something today, and thank you for all of your support. And that is it for me today, no? For me today, and I hope I get to see you guys tomorrow again and again. Please don't forget to click like of this live video, and then I look forward seeing you all tomorrow. Okay, guys. Thank you so much, and Coach MirandaMiner, I love you 3,000. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone. And stay safe. Bye.